I don't like to overhype things too much, but this very well could be the greatest, most important, and most definitive guide to prompting that has ever been created. What's going on, everybody? This is Josh Rosenberg, the AI guy, here from Smart AI Ventures. I created Smart AI Ventures to help you and other business owners to increase your revenues, decrease your overhead, become a lot more automated and optimized, and streamline your entire business. Today, we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of understanding perfect prompting. Now, I'm sure you've been there before where sometimes you go into something like ChatGPT or Bard and you give it a command, you give it a prompt, and the output is pretty lousy. Other times, you're going to see somebody give it a simple prompt and the output looks like it was written by frickin' William Shakespeare. So today we're going to be going over exactly how this happened, why this happened, and give you everything that you need to know so that every time you prompt the AI, the results blow you out of the freaking water. This all comes down to one word, and that word is nepotism. Now, I understand that that might sound a little bit weird, but we're going to go over it and it'll make sense in just a minute. And when you keep the idea of nepotism in your mind, every time you sit down to prompt, you're going to be able to see amazing results. This is going to ensure that the output that is given to you from the AI is exactly what you're looking for. And it's going to help us to break down our prompts to six core strategies: persona, task, context, examples, format, and tone. We're going to dive deep into real life scenarios and we're going to demonstrate each one of these components and how they enhance and help our prompt. And don't worry, you're going to be able to find the entire format as well as the examples in the description below. But first, let's discuss this idea of nepotism and really what does it have to do with prompt. This came from working with tons of different clients and businesses and employees in different departments. Depending on the department, some people would just get it right away. Other people have a hard time understanding the amount of detail that really goes into creating a great prompt. You can't just go into something like ChatGPT and say, write me an email announcing a 30% off sale and expect it to give you anything good. There was just not enough information, right? This is what happens when we have a brand new employee and we don't train them correctly. Somebody could come over, they could have a great resume, they could have tons of experience, and you expect that they know how to do the job that you want them to do. This is not the case. This is never the case. No matter how qualified an employee may seem, when you come to your company, you need to spend an obscene amount of time training them to do things your way, the way that you want them to be done, how, with the right format, with the right tone. You really have to hold their hand. So what does this have to do with nepotism? Imagine this. You work for a company and your boss, the CEO, the owner of the company, is getting ready in the next year or 2, 3 years to step down and retire. And they're not going to leave the company to the best, most qualified, hardest working employee. No. They're leaving it to their jackass son, this entitled idiot who just graduated school, doesn't know anything, really doesn't deserve the business, and unfortunately is going to be your boss one day. Well, the CEO comes to you and says that they want you to show their son the ropes. The son's name is Artie, by the way, which is short for artificial intelligence. They want you to show Artie around, show Artie how to do your job, and really hold Artie's hand so that he gets that hang of it and can do it. If you do a good job, you're going to be able to get raises and promotions and your job is going to be secure and you're going to have a future. If you do a shitty job, Artie's going to fire you and you may not even last that long. Artie may not even be in power yet before you get fired. So you're really going to have to hold Artie's hand and make sure that he understands everything that we're doing. So we have to kind of give Artie more instructions than you would think. Because remember, we're fighting not just for our jobs here, but for our future, our careers, our raises, our bonuses. Everybody in your department is competing against each other. And let's say you're in a department that has 10 people in it. Well, pretty soon, your boss, now using AI, is going to know that they can cut costs. So we may take this 10-person department and cut it down to 3 employees. So that means 7 people are going to be out on their keystone. They're going to be out of a job. So if you want to be one of the people that doesn't lose your job and that actually gets a big raise and a big bonus because you're one of the 3 remaining members, then this is where we need to really step in. And this is where we need to understand the perfect prompting formula. So the first bit of context that we need to give the prompt, that we need to give AI, is our persona. So this is where we are going to be imagining who we're talking to. Now, this could be an assistant. You can say to ChatGPT, today you are my personal assistant. Today you are my financial advisor. Today you are a graphic designer. Today you are a copywriter. Today you're an email marketer. Whatever it is, the job that we're trying to do, we have to tell ChatGPT, this is what your job title is. Because right now the AI does not know what we want. And because there's such a massive world of anything that it can produce for us, we have to start to be specific. So in the example we're going to be looking at today, I came up with an imaginary Italian restaurant, and we're going to be having the AI create for us an incredible menu that's going to make customers want to come back over and over. So the first step that we need to do today is we're going to tell it, today, you are a world-class Italian chef who has a knack for designing incredible and mouth-watering entrees. Boom. Part 1 is done. The AI now knows what its job is. And it has a knack for designing incredible mouth-watering entrees. So now it knows the specialty. Next piece of context we have to give it is the task. This is now where we tell the AI what we want it to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a strong action verb and articulate the end goal as if we're trying to give clear instructions to Artie. So for our example, for our Italian restaurant, we're going to say, create a highly detailed menu for our new restaurant, Pasta Palace. Okay, still pretty easy. So we've told it that it's a world-class Italian chef who has a knack for creating mouth-watering entrees. And today we're going to be creating a new menu for our restaurant, Pasta Palace. So far, so good. Next is context. This is where we're going to ask it essential questions or give exact instructions to shape the prompt's ability to produce an output. This is going to ensure that we get everything detailed and everything that's relevant that the AI might need to know. We're going to be able to feed it right here. This is just like how we would be guiding Artie with some of the nuances of our work. So for our example, we might say that there should be 5 appetizers, 3 kinds of salad, 2 kinds of soups, 5 pasta dishes, 5 seafood dishes, 4 side dishes, and 3 desserts. That's a pretty full menu, right? We could have added on chicken or steak or whatnot, but for our example, we're going to stick to these. The next piece of context we need to give it are examples. This is where most people fall short or they don't think to add examples. These are very important a lot of the times. So for our examples, these are going to boost the AI's performance by including very specific details that otherwise may have been left out. This is pretty much like we're trying to really impress the higher ups, and we need to give it as much context as possible so that Artie knows how to go off and do the right job. So here are some examples of menu items that I found that were really well written. And we're going to want them written in a similar style because remember, this has to be mouthwatering. We have to really make customers and guests want to come back and try every item on the menu. So let's say we give it an example of bruschetta. Dive into a classic Italian starter with our bruschetta. We're ripe Roma tomatoes, a creamy mozzarella, meat, a basil olive oil drizzle, and a balsamic glaze atop a crisp Parmesan crostini. That's pretty good. Our stuffed shells. Relish our stuffed shells packed with Italian sausage, spinach smothered in Alfredo marinara sauce, topped with ricotta and Parmesan. And maybe we're going to give it a dessert because I always like the rule of 3 for giving examples. We always want to give it more examples than we think we need to. So our idea for dessert is our tiramisu. And on a high note with our tiramisu, featuring a rum and espresso soaked ladyfingers layered with mascarpone and finished with cocoa and hazelnut biscotti crumbles. Hungry. All right. So now we've given our examples, and the next piece of context that it needs is our format. This is so it knows the correct output. And this is really important if we're doing anything with numbers where we might need things to be in a table format, or if we're going to be writing an instructional manual, an FAQ. This is where we tell it, this is what we want. So we don't have to come back later and manually format it. So we got to kind of visualize the end result. For our example, for this menu, we're going to say that we want the GPT to organize our menu to be listed in the following order: appetizers, then salads, soups, pasta, fish, dessert. Okay. So now it's going to put everything in that order. The final piece of context that we need is the tone. We're going to figure out what the tone of voice is that we want. We're trying to communicate how Artie should be communicating with the rest of us. This is very effective, trying to figure out how we want to tell Artie to communicate with the rest of the company, with customers, with clients, with guests. This is the voice that we want to be formatted in. So for our example, our tone should feel familiar, yet slightly seductive, as if we want to try and encourage guests to come back multiple times in order to try everything on the menu. All right, that's it. That's all 6 pieces of context that we need to feed the AI in order for Artie to produce the best work for us. So let's take a look at how that looks. All right, so here we are in ChatGPT. And all I'm going to do is paste in the prompt that we have. So it starts: today you're a world-class Italian chef who has a knack for designing incredible mouth-watering dishes. Create a highly detailed menu using for our new restaurant, Pasta Palace. There should be 5 appetizers, 3 kinds of salad, 2 kinds of soup, 5 pasta dishes, 5 seafood dishes, 4 side dishes, and 3 dessert options. Below are some examples. Here's our bruschetta, our stuffed shells, our tiramisu. Please organize the menu to be listed in the following order: appetizer, salad, soup, pasta, fish, dessert. The tone should feel familiar, yet slightly seductive, as if we're trying to encourage guests to come back multiple times to try everything on the menu. So that's everything we went over. We just pasted that in here, and now we're going to hit go. And now ChatGPT is reading through our entire prompt, and it's going to follow our instructions. Now, if you see here, it looks like a little image with our prompt followed by the actual text. This is what happens when you paste in a prompt. It always comes up showing it like an image. I'm not sure why this is. It didn't used to do that, but this is how it is now. But now look at this. The first thing that it's giving us are appetizers, see, because that's the order that we want it in first. And we asked for 5 kinds of appetizers. So it's giving us these 5 appetizers. If we read the description, this is written exactly how our examples were written. It's using a similar tone of voice, similar amount of words, and it's painting a picture in people's minds. We want people to be able to almost see and smell and taste the food. We want them to go on an adventure. If this is a menu where we're going to add images to it, that would be something separate, where we would go to, in our program, like Leonardo, and we're going to basically copy and paste this entire description into Leonardo, and it will be able to create our images for our menu for us. But a lot of nicer restaurants, the kind that would have food written out like this, there may not be pictures. There probably won't be. You might see them on the website or on Yelp, but that's a lot of times, that's separate from the menu. That's a separate task. But look at this. All right, we're back. It took about 2.5, 3 minutes for everything to be produced. I then just copied it from ChatGPT and pasted it into this Google Doc. But as you can see, look at this. We have a full menu for our Italian restaurant. The output is exactly what we wanted. This is beautiful output. There really doesn't need to be any changes at all. It has everything that we wanted. Whoops, just need to make that one bold. And that's it. That was the whole trick to getting the amazing quality output that we know AI can give us. And so if you follow this format, you should have no problem being able to replicate the same high quality. Now, with that, I want you to go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe so that you never miss an update. Again, the descriptions as well as the exact prompt and examples that we have are in the description down below. And if you want me to personally help you grow your business using AI to increase your revenues, decrease your overhead, streamline and automate operations, there is a link also in the description so that we can hop on a complimentary call and see if I'm the right person for the job for you. So until next time, I've been Josh Rosenberg, the AI guy, and I'll talk to you soon.